asking you about what QFT are the major parts of QFT I should learn. Okay. It's on? All right, we're starting.
No, your question was about field theory?
Yeah. So I want to ask Irene.
Well, what about all you guys? Have you guys taken quantum field theory?
I haven't taken shit, Irene. You, I think, have the highest level of pedigree here, especially in QFT, to answer anything. So I just want to know what you would say. So this is my example. So
talk to me. I will speak for her.
So this was what I was saying. So when I do math, right, have gone through all physics now. I know all the shortcuts to what you should learn. So like, I'm a guy who follows the Pareto principle. Are you familiar with that?
No.
So it's basically 20% of the effort for 80% of the return.
Okay.
So if you had to shortcut your path, let's say if you just wanted to learn. So this is what I would say for if you want to learn classical mechanics.
Let me just say that that's the smart man's lazy algorithm.
Right. The smart man's lazy algorithm. So as lazy as possible for as much of your return as you can get. So what I would say is if you want to learn classical mechanics at its lowest, if you just want to learn the most important thing in classical mechanics, learn how to do Lagrangians. If you want to learn the most important thing of how to do statistical mechanics, just learn how to derive every single partition function. If you want to learn how to do electromagnetism, just learn how to understand Maxwell's equations. If you want to learn, what else is
plus
there?
the Lorentz force, bro. Come on.
Yeah, plus Lorentz force. Okay.
Bastard child.
Yeah. Poor Lorentz. If you want to learn general relativity, that one may not be
that
as
one's
clear.
tough, bro. You gotta really build up a lot of formulas.
Well, I guess with relativity, you could probably get the most bang out of your buck with just knowing the
tensor calculus.
No, that's too much. I would say probably just know Lorentz transformations.
Well, I was gonna say Einstein field equations, right?
Yeah,
that's probably better.
No, but I know, but you need to know some tensor calculus shit.
Yeah, but you do need tensor.
Well, I don't have a good one for relativity yet, but
because that one's
But So Irene, I guess, and then also for math, I can say this. So math, this is another one I have for calculus. So if you want to learn calculus, I would say learn limits, learn derivatives, and learn integrals.
No, you can skip limits, bro.
You could even skip limits, but if you know limits, then it will follow that derivatives will be way easier to understand.
I find that you don't need it.
But if you just do, you don't. But if you just do the formulaic version of finding what a limit equals in the derivative, you'll know. So I would still include it. So I'll just say limits, derivative, integrals. Bam, that's it. So what would you say, Irene, to learn QFT? What would you condense it down to if you could?
Well, what do you guys think?
What do I think?
Well, for me, I would say at least the first one I know probably would be the Klein-Gordon equation. That's what I would probably say. Learn the Klein-Gordon equation. But then, of course, with QFT, there's all kinds of shit with the Lagrangian.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. Like, I want to know more. Like, do you need to learn? I'm thinking maybe this would be it. Like the Klein-Gordon equation, the Dirac, solving the Klein-Gordon equation, solving the Dirac field, and then maybe something else. I don't know.
I would say, if you want to say, let's skip all those derivations of like the solutions for the Klein-Gordon equation, for the Dirac equation, all of that stuff. To me, you don't need to learn how to derive those things. You could just know, okay, what field represents a different type of particle, and then just know the solution, whatever. Someone can give you the solutions. I think the most important thing is to understand the Lagrangian, the terms in the Lagrangian, and how they are associated to different Feynman rules. Because the most important thing with QFT is solving scattering amplitudes. And to do that, you need to have under control what are the interactions that are going on and what is the mathematical representation of that interaction.
Okay, so the Feynman rules.
Feynman rules, yes. The diagrams, yes. Okay. The diagrams of Feynman diagrams and the Feynman rules associated with the diagrams. It's like
they're like 12 rules or some shit.
It's such a wonderful, for all the different theories, there's different rules, but like it's just a wonderful way of representing essentially the interactions between the particles of that specific theory. Gotcha. So it's just condensed down to that. That's the easiest way to like, and it's the most important, really, if we care about like the phenomenology, which is just like trying to calculate scattering amplitudes, essentially.
Right. Okay. So then what about renormalization?
That stuff obviously comes into play
that's
too.
That's part of the Feynman stuff.
Feynman rules, that's part of it?
I mean, that's part of the process, of the calculations that you have to. we do renormalization and
Okay.
and then you have like these divergences that pop up at like either high energies, which we call ultraviolet divergences, or divergences at like low energies, which are associated with particles that are either like have momentum that are parallel to each other. So the angle between them is 0, and you can't really distinguish one from the other. So there's like there's a divergence because of that in scattering amplitude. You have to learn how to do that. But all that stuff is like more advanced, right? So obviously there's going to be a lot of details that you have to learn.
Okay.
So the generalismo is like
Feynman rules, Feynman diagrams. Knowing what the fields are, the different interactions between particles.
There's a good book to like. I use this one as a reference, and for the listeners, I guess they can use this one. It's called Dover Books on Physics. It's a guide to Feynman diagrams. So you can probably find it on sorry. Hold on, I gotta find the.
You know what size? How big it is?
No, but it's a guide to Feynman diagrams in the many-body problem. So I know it's not exactly QFT, but I mean it shows you how to read Feynman diagrams. It shows you how to like what rules you need to do, calculations. Although in many-body you deal with like fermions like most of the time, like electrons and stuff. You're doing like.
So are you doing QED, quantum electrodynamics, most of the time?
I don't know.
That's just
because I don't know the formalism of QED. I see in the book here.
You don't have quarks in there.
No,
it's just electrons essentially and protons.
So maybe,
and that's another reason. Actually, I wanted to bring up with the scattering amplitudes. I'm thinking, is scattering amplitudes more too catered towards if you're high energy? Like, is there more of a general thing in QFT you can learn? Just like what? Like, I don't know, is scattering amplitudes relevant? You think for?
Yeah. So I'll explain. I think I know what you're getting at. Like in that's what we're talking about when we're talking about scattering amplitudes is like for perturbative expansion of that interaction. So that would be at high energies where it makes sense to perturbatively expand the interaction between the particles because the energy is so high that the coupling between those particles is not so great. So you can actually break up that interaction, which is essentially the coupling is telling you how strong the interaction between those two particles is. And when the coupling isn't very strong compared to the energy of the actual individual particles, then you can expand the interaction Hamiltonian or interaction Lagrangian that way, right? So that's that's a perturbative treatment. That's when we're talking about learning these Feynman rules and the scattering amplitudes are all related to doing this perturbative treatment. So it is at high energies. But there are ways that you can connect this high energy to lower energies where now you can't really have a perturbative treatment anymore. And it's more like an approximation. And what's the name of it again called?
I don't know, but I was going to say like...
It doesn't matter, we'll find it.
Well, because the Lagrangian...
One won't start it like... voice.
Oh, they're just like effective theories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so those are just
effective field theory, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those are effective. That's another field, of course.
Right.
Yeah, and the Lagrangians are like symbolically tied. Well, it's almost like you have to learn how to decipher what your Feynman diagram is going to look like from the Lagrangian that you have.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
but it's a formulaic thing, right? Like you could just look at the Lagrangian and then you can look at the is it the inverse? Look at the Lagrangian and then you can make the Feynman diagrams, or is it look at the Feynman diagrams and you can make the Lagrangian?
I think it would depend on the context of the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is there is an equivalence there, so like you can go to and from.
Yeah. So what are you talking? Were you saying? I missed.
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
No, I'm saying here like how the Feynman diagrams are related to the Lagrangian.
Yeah, you can actually read from the Lagrangian the different Feynman rules, which would be straight from the Lagrangian. That's what I mean by understanding what the terms mathematically in the Lagrangian are and how they connect to the Feynman rules, which you can show as a diagram. It could be interaction between two fermions, for example, or a fermion and a boson. You can see that all those interactions have to show up in the interaction part of the Lagrangian.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
So it's actually really nice to have like the Lagrangian and then like right next to it, under it, I'll have those Feynman rules as a diagram. Yeah.
Right. So then would that be the path integral method? Because in QFT, everything is the path integral approach, is it not? Or is that wrong?
It's not. Is the most popular
Okay.
method, and it's
Okay.
probably something that is nice to use as a path integral formalism.
Okay.
But there's also the other formalism,
Okay.
Yeah, and
Which include like Hamiltonians or something?
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, in quantum many-body, we have like nasty sandwiches of like Dirac formulation stuff.
Okay.
Like they throw like
I'm not even familiar with all the other.
But I would just say all
Forms.
those details about like which formalism to use, right? Path integral is like to derive these rules and all of this stuff. Like to me is if you're trying to do the quick 20-minute learning, don't waste your time on learning all those mathematical details. I mean, it is really interesting to know that. But if you just want to really be able to apply this knowledge into an actual calculation, you don't need to know how to derive all the rules using these different methods, right?
Gotcha. So then would that be all it is, you say? Feynman rules? Or is there another piece?
Well, of course, understanding how to deal with the renormalization of the system.
And I'm saying for the Pareto method, 20% of your effort for 80%.
Well, if you're going to do a calculation, you need to know how to renormalize the system,
Okay.
or you can't get something that fits with the physical reality.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you have to deal with these divergences that pop up.
And does that mean you know the renormalization group? Or is that a little bit too far, you think? That's just like the general, the group theory version of renormalization, right?
Yeah. I don't know
Probably a little
all the
extra.
details on that, to be honest.
Okay. So there's no renormalization, no Feynman rules. Is that it?
No Feynman. Oh, when you say no, I thought you meant NO. I'm like, no.
No.
Yes, Feynman rules. Yes, renormalization.
Yeah.
And then dealing with the divergences, having a
Okay.
method to deal with, essentially is.
And that's not renormalization?
No, not really. No.
Oh.
To do that, we do something called regularization. Well, there's different ways to do it. You can regularization.
Regular, normal? What's with all these?
Well, like with regularization, you can like put in like a mass for the particles or for the massless particles, and that helps regulate an infinity that you have in the denominator.
Oh, I thought that was renormalization. I don't even know anything about renormalization, so that was my. Every time I read about renormalization, I don't know what the hell it really means, to be honest.
to me, it seems like a catch-all term to like techniques to.
But you're saying that that's regularization, Irene, is there. You need to take the mass and give it a value or something, you think?
That's a form of so there's different divergences that pop up in the theory at either high energy or at low energy.
Yeah.
Depending on some dynamics in the system. So there can be like, let's say at really high energies, you have a massless particle that within your scattering amplitude contributes its momentum to the denominator.
Right.
And because it's massless, we have the on-shell condition is that its p squared, its total momentum squared, is equal to mass squared, right?
Gotcha.
But if the mass it's massless, then that goes to zero.
Right.
And we have to deal with that pole now. There's a divergence there at high energies. That's what regularization is at UV, at the high energy side, is trying to fix problems like that.
Right. So there's clever stuff going on.
Yeah, so essentially the main thing that people do is what we call dimensional regularization. So sometimes people add in a mass for that massless particle, and then later on, when they do the full formalism, you can, at the end, you get these extra pieces, and then you can take the mass out, and those extra pieces are the things that actually fix the divergence. But really, people
some
use
witchcraft.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about all the details of that. But dimensional regularization is what is the standard, which is essentially you're putting your 4D space into a larger space. So it's 4 plus epsilon, which is a tiny little bit of space-time, right?
Wait, so you're saying you're can you say that one more time?
So it's purely mathematical dimensional regularization. You just extend your integral, because when you solve these amplitudes, you're going to have to take some Feynman integrals over some momentum, right? Like if you have loop momentum and stuff, you have to integrate over all the possible loop momentums. And so when you do that calculation, essentially, if it's in 4-dimensional space, you have this divergence. But now if you add a little bit to that space, so now it's 4 plus epsilon space.
Oh, you're hiding the extra in that epsilon.
So yeah, you're essentially that. And then when
interesting.
you're going to see some extra terms that are proportional to epsilon pop out, and the divergence will cancel out, and you're just left with the epsilon term. And then you cancel out the epsilon term, actually just cancels with another epsilon denominator, and then you're left with a finite contribution.
These clever bastards.
That is the standard that most people will use is
Interesting.
dimensional regularization.
I see.
Yeah,
I
we
see.
did that in many body as well, but it's like I guess the math foundation is the same. It seems a lot more daunting, I think, than people make it to be, but it's like I don't know. I didn't use Schwartz, and Schwartz is like apparently the best QFT.
Which one
book.
was yours again, Juan?
It was water and Fleca.
Fleca?
Wetter and
That's
Fleca or
right, that's
something,
right, yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. Oh, Waleka and Feder. My bad. My
Okay.
dyslexia is showing. Feder and Waleka is like the one that they use in the standard in Manybody. Although that book hasn't been updated since like the 70s or 80s or something.
And do you think that's a problem, or is it just timeless knowledge? It doesn't matter. I guess
it-
if you're
the-
saying it, then you're saying it does matter.
It does matter in the sense that it needs a more like soft hand. Like Schwartz is like, I mean, if you look at, I'm looking at the book now, I'm like, man, this is amazing because it looks like he holds your hand through
Oh, I see.
most of it.
So Feder and Waleka is written by Terminator.
Yeah. yeah. You need an outside. You need a supplementary source for that.
Right.
Like if you're gonna, and I use a lot. Like I recommended the Dover book, just because I needed a lot of supplements to kind of fill in those gaps. Because like when you're first dealing with it, you're like, this is like you're doing a lot of accounting because you have to look for particles and map out the interactions and stuff, and then like do the calculations. But a lot of them are you using rules, so it's almost like it's weird because for the first time in physics, I feel like I have to memorize things like because of rules or whatever. So yeah, it's like you'll have a much easier time if you lean on your memory, I think, and it's like a lot easier to navigate because you have those rules. Like most of the time, professors aren't going to give you. They're not going to give you like these really hard calculations because I mean you're not like you're given a fucking, at least in quantum anybody, you're not given.
It's
like
so deep. Like there's no point to doing all
you
that.
can't use a computer on the test. I mean,
Yeah.
unless they did that with QFT. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we don't have tests. We have only assignments.
Oh, there you go.
So you could be given something more complicated to work on for a longer time.
Right. They get the take-home final. I think that takes like 4 weeks or some shit.
And they give you one. It should take 4 weeks, but they give you 1 week. So
Wow.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joke-
when I took
yeah.
that QFT take-home final, it was like they gave us 2 weeks for like 4 problems or something. I forget.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "What the fuck do I have to do? This looks like Chinese." And then when I finally figured out what I have to calculate, and I was like, "There's not enough time to calculate all this by hand."
Yeah.
Right.
And so I was just like, at some point, I was just like, "Well, here's what I would have done, but I don't have the man hours to write all this shit out."
Yeah.
So.
Jeez, man.
It's weird because like it's almost like you have to recognize, like there are tricks. Like some professors might, like if you're looking at the integral or whatever, and then you're going to draw out like what cancels out. It's like for me, it helped to see the Feynman diagrams and then like, oh, this goes away, like this cancels this. You don't have to incorporate it in the integral at the end of it. So like, I don't know, but it depends on the difficulty of the problem that
Right.
you're given. I think in the real world, bro, I don't even know what that looks like. Like I can't tell you.
Well, Irene was just giving us a little sneak peek. I'm not gonna say more because I know she doesn't want to talk about her research.
Yeah.
Let's just say that there are 7,000 by 7,000 dimensional matrices involved, actually, which can be pretty bad.
So I looked at for like gravity or something just to see how many that matrix would look like for something like that, and it was 500,000 by 500,000.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Rip Irene.
Yeah.
There might be ways to like minimize it, but I mean,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the Schwartz book, the Matthew D. Schwartz book, it's called Quantum Field Theory and the Standard Model. I think it's pretty renowned for how good it is.
Yeah.
I think there are like 2 or 3 other books that are out there.
But I think didn't you guys use Peskin and Schroeder?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use this.
you used that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because she took it with someone else.
Oh. Okay.
She took it before me.
What do you think about
okay.
what do you think about Peskin and Schroeder?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It seems like it's
No,
like
you
the
use
standard kind of.
Shrednicky.
Oh, Shrednicky. I get them all confused.
I would say
Oh, okay.
you should. I mean, if you want to, I mean, Shrednicky, Peskin and Schroeder, and Schwartz are all. I like to look at all three of them because I think they all show different perspectives.
But you prefer Schwartz?
I think this one is more like in a way condensed, and really like I think explicit too.
Yeah, he
In the
says,
discussion,
Oh, so it's better for
very
s-
clear. Yeah,
It's better for someone who already knows QFT that just wants to review. Real quick.
I think it's good for anyone, right? I think
Okay.
it's actually really nice for just learning like what these things even mean. I think he has good explanations.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to read the.
But if you want more details into some of the calculations, sometimes he doesn't go into every single detail. But he still does go through good detail. So and he has a
What-
really good appendix.
What do you think about David Tong's lectures? You seen those?
No.
Okay, that's kind of like the one I always get recommended for people who are like, oh, you want to like a badass, real like easy, simple treatment of QFT. Look at David Tong. That's what they always say. Like almost without fail. That's always the one that gets recommended first to me. So maybe you should check it out. It's online for free. He has them on like his website, whatever.
Well, if
they
you want to
do.
learn about more modern like scattering amplitude treatments, like unitarity, generalized unitarity, Lance Dixon writes a lot of good little like lectures that you can get online. Like they're written out. I guess I don't know what you call that. It's like paper
Blogs
lecture
and stuff.
type of thing.
Yeah.
And he goes through a lot of different like modern techniques for calculating scattering amplitudes.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh yeah, well hold on. I kind of want to highlight what Schwartz says here. He says, assuming only an undergraduate level understanding of quantum mechanics, the book steadily develops the standard model and state-of-the-art calculation techniques. It includes multiple derivations of many important results, with modern methods such as effective field theory and renormalization group playing a prominent role. Numerous worked-out examples and end-of-chapter problems enable students to reproduce classic results and to master QFT as it's used today. So yeah, he's like, this book is ideal for an introductory to advanced quantum field theory sequence or for independent study.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's available online on his website, like the preprint version.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, dude.
So there you go. So
He's
listeners, you
legit.
guys want to learn some QFT, there you go. I guess I had another question though, real quick about QFT. So with so I know sometimes what they'll do online, some of the lectures they'll do is they'll learn field theory first. So I don't think our school does a field theory course, but did you have to transition, like when you took the QFT course, did you have to learn field theory first, classical field theory, and then transition into quantum field theory? Was it like a week long thing, or do you think that's not even really necessary, or what?
Maybe the first week or two is just bringing up topics like it wasn't like a full treatment of like field
But
classical
they
field theory.
quantized the classical field.
They
no?
did do that, yes. The first week to 2 weeks. The first week was probably doing that, quickly quantizing it,
Yeah. Okay.
and then also looking at like electricity, like relativistic E and M.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first and 2 weeks, those two things, just to kind of like put the pieces together so that we understand the quantum field theory
Gotcha.
direction. And then my course, at least when I took it, was like that.
Okay. Cool.
Every professor teaches it different. So.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
But I would definitely recommend this book. So
Nice. Well, go buy it, folks, or don't buy it. Get it for free.
actually, I just remembered the book that's on preprint free is the Srednicky book,
Oh,
not this.
Well, that's
book,
still a good
so-
one, right? That's
so
what
you
you
still have to
recommended.
buy this. Yeah,
Okay.
the Srednicky is still good. So
Also, learn how to read the propagator, because that's the
who?
the propagator function,
Oh,
the big G.
yeah. I never
IG.
liked it.
It's tough, bro. No, it's because when you
Tough
see
in a
a
good way or tough in a bad way?
like, okay, well here
it's the Green's function.
yeah, it's a Green's function.
Oh, Green's function seems very useful.
yeah,
Because isn't that just how you find the answer to an integral that's more than one dimension?
I don't. I feel like you know more than I do on this.
Well, that's how I've always thought of it. Because it's like, when you're like looking at a gradient, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to find what
Oh, I
something
see.
is, you know, what's the inverse operation of a gradient?
Mhm.
You have to use Green functions to find that answer.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's a fancy way to look at it. I think
I think that's the simplest way to look at
Really?
it, probably. Yeah.
I've never heard.
I think that's why it was invented. Because Because like, how do you find the
Well, Greens was a
do you
farmer,
take-
bro. How did he know all that?
yeah, he was killing it, man. Einstein was like, this guy's the shit. He
I
said
know,
himself.
like a simple farmer. I'm just
Yeah.
a simple farmer.
He used to do his work in his windmill. I don't know if
Are
you
you
read
serious?
that. Yeah.
Wow, incredible.
Like he used to get away and go in the windmill and do some greens functions.
There got to be some ergot in those wheat fields. Like to come up with this stuff.
Right.
I'm like, dude, what the
That
hell?
man was taking mushrooms out of the cow patties and just
He's chewing on a.
seeing the source code.
Yeah, exactly. He's chewing on a piece of wheat, just like
Right.
hallucinating inverse scalar fields or whatever you're talking about. To me, I always looked at the greens function like as like a thing that helps your integral to be solvable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I guess like I'm more looking at it in a utilitarian sense. But
Right.
you're
Well, I kind of am too. It's just that I think the real crux of it stems from how do you take the integral of a gradient?
Mm-hmm.
You need a Greens function.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm hoping that's right.
Well, I mean, I think
Always
in,
put an
in
asterisk
this
on everything I
context,
say.
sometimes I visualize it as like connected to that specific field or that particle, right? So it could be related in that way.
I'm sure it is. I think it's
Because
very
here-
I see, 'cause
versatile.
it's like source and drain.
Exactly,
kind of type
because
of- right,
this Green's function is associated with like the propagator of
Okay.
the specific particle or field that you're looking at, right?
Got you.
I can see how it would be connected to everything.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to connect some dots that maybe I should have connected 2 years ago.
Right.
And so the renormalization process of this, you're asking earlier, what's the difference? It's essentially there's some self energies to all the particles, right?
There's some what?
Self energies that then give divergences if you're like at the location, exact location of that particle, then it blows up, right? The energy, like it's like undefined there, as we probably see in E&M, right? We've seen that with like Coulomb's law and all of that stuff.
Right.
So you have to renormalize that situation. So that's what renormalization will do, is just kind of trying to remove that divergence.
Oh, and they even add that for in E&M, right? With Coulomb's law, as you
Yeah.
said, because then there's the Dirac delta.
Yes.
When you're looking at point. There we go.
It sounds like we're all making sense. It seems like we're all connecting dots right now.
Right.
Let's
I always
just
thought that was
take
just some
physics
clever
here.
shit somebody just really like thought of in E&M, but then I'm like, oh, maybe it took them to get to QFT to actually figure that out.
Probably.
But I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, because that's like Poisson's relation or something, right? So maybe Poisson was just the badass he was. And
I don't know. I
I
think
don't know, I'm diverging.
speculating. No, I think a lot of it is like, I mean, it's already presented. It's already presented in a nice way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like it's all like synthesized and like made to look nice, especially with QFT.
Yeah.
Quantum Antibody doesn't have that treatment,
And
and I don't know. I know that we have a little.
so, Irene, can I ask you how to quantize gravity?
Just give me a second, because I have to let.
She'll give you the
Oh
answer.
yeah.
Like a grad student, like that. What's that one grad student that solved like the professor gave them like a bunch of unsolvable problems.
Yeah,
and
like
he was
in Good Will Hunting or something.
no,
No, this is the real life one.
the real life version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The student
Well,
was
I
like,
mean, the formula's been created for 3 loops. We want to apply it to gravity.
For quantum gravity?
oh, interesting.
Well, because we already.
How do we quantize gravity? Can you even give us a bullshit
No, I
explanation?
don't. No, I can't.
Man.
No gravity discussions right now.
You look at the
Also,
Einstein field
Fernando says I can't give too many secrets about things.
Oh, I see.
I feel that.
Don't want to get scooped.
Yeah, you don't want to get scooped, bro.
I see.
Don't even think about it.
The doggy wants to say something. Oh, she doesn't have any comment. She has no tips for quantizing gravity.
No.
She has it all in her head. She knows.
Oh, I see.
She sees the equations on the board.
Right. Paul to pen. She's unstoppable.
Yeah. What
Who do you
about-
think is writing my documents?
Yeah. This one's gonna be called Good Girl.
She's your ghostwriter.
Yeah, this is gonna be called Good Girl Hunting, dude. A good well, dude.
Good girl.
I was gonna say
She
good
just
boy,
wants
but-
to be called good girl all the
Yeah.
time.
I love it.
Actually, I got another question too for you, Joe. Do you actually?
Wait, we didn't start yet. We stopped it, right?
Oh, we
No,
stopped.
no.
No,
Oh.
just let it run.
I'll edit.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you use QFT in Astro at all? Not at all, even.
Yeah, fuck no, dude.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
He's like, unless I'm trying to quantize gravity,
Right.
but I ain't gonna do that.
You're just using GR shit, right?
No.
No?
I don't.
Not even GR.
No.
What do you
Computational
have to use
methods?
mostly?
Stats.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
Statistics.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
I know.
astrophysics, I don't know what you want to call that. It's
Right, and it varies a lot too by person. But we're not going to talk research, so sorry, I'm.
Well, I mean, like now, I mean,
like breaking cardinal sins of PhD students. They don't want
Yeah.
to talk their research.
well, nowadays, people are trying to do quantum information, and they're using. I mean, I guess it's quantum anybody, but like,
For black hole stuff, is that where you're getting at?
yeah, I mean, there's like
That's
a
why I
weird
was hoping maybe
intersection.
Joe would have something related to it, because I know that
Right.
that recently people have been finding quantum connections to black holes.
Well, I mean,
And I'm like, oh, they're trying to
well, I
start getting
shouldn't
into
say it,
quantum.
but there's a calculation that we've been doing that is
Okay, don't
related
say it.
to black hole
Don't say it.
mergers.
Ooh,
I had a friend of mine that
spoiler alert.
I had a friend of mine that's I have a friend that's at Penn State, and he like told me his own theory on how he perceives he's a mathematical physicist, how he perceives quantum gravity, because that's what he wants to work
Okay.
on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spill the beans here, and I don't know if he's still working on it.
We'll just say what a
But
general concept is.
I'll like, I mean, I don't think,
The math
I mean,
is
if
the
he's
hard part
on it,
anyway.
I mean, if he's on it and gonna publish, I mean, it's a hard problem.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
He'll be fine. Just
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't care. No, he won't care because he's probably already years ahead of
Yeah.
everybody.
Anyway, yes. So what is it?
He's talking. Damn, if I can remember correctly, it has to do with entanglement.
Okay.
He says that, this was a 2 to 3 year old, maybe 4-year-old theory. I don't know if he's updated it, but he thinks that the source of gravity is somewhere in that, like how
In entanglement.
how we perceive entanglement.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very general.
Doesn't
Doesn't really say anything.
I think because like if you talk about the mediator, I guess because like it looks sort of emergent, right? Like I mean the conglomeration of mass, you know what I mean, starts warping your like
Space time.
yeah. So like I mean if you look at entangled bodies or masses, I guess like you start approaching a classical like when when two atoms come together, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They bond.
Mm-hmm.
They form a chemical bond or whatever, and in that exchange, like I mean, you lower your entropy, all this other stuff. Like there's something in the he posits that there's something in the entanglement. There's some kind of information that maybe is exchanged, and like maybe it's like one of the smallest units of information that we can like kind of perceive, I guess.
I'm not
Very
convinced.
Very vague.
I think we need him.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't even know if he'll say it all because I don't even know. He was like, it's a thought in my head about how, because he would say that that would be the smallest, almost like the smallest bit or something of information, but I don't know. That's all he said. pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying.
Wait, what did you say was the smallest bit?
Like he would say that the graviton, I guess, in this sense, would be like
Why the graviton?
the mediating of information of like how, I guess, of the gravity interaction. You know what I'm
I
saying?
thought, don't try one.
You know what I'm saying?
I think you should just let him explain it.
So
if he's here, 'cause
so he
I don't
believes
think
there
he'd
is
be
a
able to explain it.
graviton. So he thinks
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
a particle. that
Yeah,
could be
but he's
found.
like trying to find ways that if you could measure it in some way, he thinks like you can probably test it through some kind of entanglement phenomenon.
Oh, okay. So he's saying to measure and find it,
Yeah.
it'd have to be through some
Kind
entanglement,
of entanglement phenomena, yeah.
like experiment or something.
Yeah, but he's like still trying
So
to
is
figure
that
out
is
the
his
math
work as a
formulation.
proposal of that process?
Yeah, but he's like I talked to it with my advisor, and he's like, there's so much math that we have to make to even like get to that point.
And usually, if you're dealing with things like gravitons and stuff, that means it's going to be like almost impossible to try to make an experiment to detect that because it's just so. It's so minimal in its detection ability.
Well, like,
even
I mean-
with entanglement, probably.
Well, the
unless
problem-
he's exploiting some kind of statistical thing.
Right. Well, the mathematical physicist would look at that. Like that's his task. Like really to like really hammer out like not only the underpinnings of it, but then also like how you could get an experimental result to give you that. So it's like, I mean, you have to lay out the whole framework.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of an impossible task
Good
to do
luck
in
to him.
4 years. I know, yeah. I don't even know if he's. I don't even know if he pivoted. It sounds to me like one. He said one of the math. one of the math tools that I guess he would need to develop, him and his professor would need to develop, and there are like 3. He said there are like 3 that we need to basically hammer out if we want to answer this question. And so he's just like, even one of those would be my PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, this is going to be like, even if I wanted to answer this question, this hypothesis, it would take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, fuck, dude. Oh, shit. Good luck. I'm not a mathematical physicist, so I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what else? You know anything about string theory, Irene?
Oh my
What is
God.
it? I'm
like,
getting a
God
third
damn
degree
it, I
over
didn't
here.
sign up for this.
Questions on questions, man.
No, I think like,
Irene is like, this is exactly what I would want to do today.
no, I think,
Well, I have to work on physics later anyway.
Right.
So.
yeah.
It's a warm up, you know.
Yeah, no, I think the answer might be like in some kind of like the do y'all think, where do you think the answer lies though?
Do you
You
think
think
quantum
it's like-
gravity?
What's the question?
Like the
Yeah.
the boundary between quantum and like Astro. You think
An
it's in
Astro?
like gravity and stuff?
like gravity and stuff, yeah.
Yes, Irene.
What are the multiple
What do you
choice?
Well, because like, I mean, okay, well, the multiple choice right now is like some people like if you look at what's his name, Maldacena, right, and his AD whatever it's called.
ADS CFT.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like it looks at the role of how quantum information is embedded on this boundary, I guess, for the black holes or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, I mean, are you? I don't know if y'all know, Joseph, if you know any of this, but like, do y'all like? This is not my forte, but like the way I look at it is like, are people looking at that as the converging point to maybe bridge the two?
Oh,
The-
like black
the boundary
holes?
between quantum and
Quantum and black holes and
Yeah.
quantum. Okay.
like, is that
Yeah.
like there's the quantum information aspect of that, like the boundary of like
I
maybe
think that's
finding
probably
an
out of
answer.
their scope though, because Irene, you're doing
Well, I don't know if they heard through the grapevine
different
or
stuff than
anything.
that. And Joe, maybe would you have an idea of that? Or
Well, I
no?
mean, I'm not specifically like educated on this, but I watch videos. I educate myself through like science videos on YouTube
Veritasium.
and stuff.
Veritasium
But-
is shit.
As far as I know, yeah, probably that's like black holes is just the intersection of those two things, right?
That's what it seems
Yeah.
like.
The
yeah.
only other thing that's like maybe a question in my head is like a neutron star or something. Like maybe there might be some like about the structure of the neutron star might relate to like quantum mechanics stuff.
Interesting.
But other than that, that's pretty much all I hear about in terms of
Hold up.
What
Structure of the neutron star.
yeah.
Can you care to expound or?
I mean, not particularly. I just know that like people do research in terms of like the equation of state of like the structure of the star, right? So like
In the formation of it, like there's like, well, isn't there like a famous thing like there's like a convergence or something with
the
what is his name?
the Chandrasekhar mass.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
There's like some quantum interaction there that like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, well, not exactly, but it is related. I mean, it is like a quantum phenomenon that those objects exist at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm treading past what I really am comfortable talking about, but the fact that they exist at all, I guess you could say, is quantum. It is a quantum effect. I think it relates to like the Fermi exclusion principle, and like
You mean the Pauli exclusion principle?
yeah, Pauli exclusion principle, I guess.
You mean like with fermions?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the density of the neutron star itself is like makes it a quantum phenomena.
Right.
So quantum mechanics does appear in Astro, but yeah, that's not my specialty. I just know that.
Do you know how dense the neutron star is, like compared to like black hole or something?
Comparatively, no. It's an interesting question. I know it is
Probably less, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I just wonder like
Yeah, clearly it's less.
order of magnitude difference.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's freakishly dense. Like I did a calculation or two for a class where it's like, what is the force of gravity like it's like a mile above the surface or something, and it's insane.
Damn.
But don't neutron stars sometimes turn into black holes? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
They're
like
the
one
next
step
getting-
away, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
probably why you already start seeing some quantum effects, right?
Right. Okay, that
But
makes
like,
sense.
what is it
Yeah.
about it being so dense that causes it
The
to-
quantum nature to be relevant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, there's like a breaking point, right?
Yeah,
What do you
Right.
mean?
yeah, that's the Chandrasekhar mass that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
What
Like-
do you mean by breaking point?
Well, when the neutron star turns into a black hole.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Transition.
Well, because I mean, like, I mean, there's something.
But still
there's
doesn't answer why quantum has to be relevant there.
I
Because
would
people
say
only recently just even found why is quantum even relevant for black holes. It's like to me, it's still not
Well-
even clear why it would be.
I don't know, because like, if I mean, the quantum information aspect of that will with Juan Maldaceno's work. I don't know if I'm getting this right, but like,
Yeah.
that's more about what happens. What happens to like photons? Like, it's more like how would you say? It's more like a conservation thing, but I think in this, the Chandrasekhar or the boundary between neutron stars becoming black holes, I think it's like, to me, it looks like there's some fucking weird like breaking point for where the quantum effects like
Start to become relevant.
or something, like, you know what I
but
mean?
then
Like,
the
it's like
question
a
is,
weird.
why would that even be? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole research question.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I said, I think this is known stuff. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think it's related to the Pauli exclusion principle.
Okay.
To see how they.
Is it? I thought it also had something to do with. I don't know if this is right at all. So put a massive asterisk on this. But I thought also it had something to do with the Hawking information paradox.
That's related to black holes.
Yeah, but wasn't that quantum aspect of it related to that with black holes, or no? Or would you not?
Yeah, I mean, Hawking radiation is, I guess you could say, a quantum effect, and it's related to black holes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not the neutron stars. Though.
Yeah. It's related to black holes. It's related to how black holes are allegedly supposed to evaporate over time.
Okay. Sweet.
So black holes do have a lifetime, but
So
I have a post.
information.
I have a poster like in the house that says like the lifetime. I think it's like an average like solar mass black hole. I forget. I'm pulling this number out of my ass, but I think it's like 10 to the 52 years or something.
Oh wow! And
Because
how
of
long is the universe supposed to last?
Well, right, it's supposed to last. I mean, who fucking knows? But it's.
But isn't there like a number?
It's 13.8 billion years old now.
Right.
So
and
it's
then how
10
much longer?
So it's 10 to the 10 years, and then I'm talking about the black hole lifetime of order, maybe if I remember correctly, is like 10 to 52 years.
yeah, but what stage are we in the universe? I forget. Are we early or
We're in the
middle
chill
or
stage,
late?
Hey, we're here, dude. It's got to be pretty chill. We're here.
yeah, exactly. I would say we're like in the middle part. We're in an interesting time in the universe. And it's just from here on out, if assuming that the Hubble constant is in fact a constant, the expansion. Yeah.
Like to the 69 or to the 71 or something.
Oh, you checked the poster?
According to the poster.
Okay, so
Oh, dang.
yeah, I might be off by 10 orders of magnitude, but in the direction that makes it more interesting.
Yeah,
But
Damn, and you're saying we're in the midpoint in the universe, so it will last as long as the universe will.
they will be the last things to die in the
I
universe.
see.
For sure.
Damn.
That's where Roger Penrose comes in, bro. He's like,
Right.
look at my cyclical universe.
Yeah, at the end times, you will have just black holes.
Damn.
If you want to have any hope of existing in the universe,
Become a black hole.
yeah, it depends on if you could somehow take that kind of like energy from the evaporation of the black hole to like squeeze out the last little drops of life before.
That's
Like
weird.
recycling.
Yeah, I'm just like that's. I would always say when I'm like I'm about to die, I want to be thrown into a black hole.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I was telling Terrence, I was like, we should start a company, like, if spacefaring becomes a thing,
Yeah.
like
I forget now.
like shooting your body into space.
Yeah, that would
to
be-
the direction of a black hole.
You would
Yeah.
you could probably make money.
No,
with
but
that.
I want to be there in the moment I'm about to die. Like I don't want to have already died and then go through. I
Oh,
want to
okay,
be going
so-
through as I'm dying.
So science needs to advance.
or do I
enough-
not want that?
Well, hold on. So science would need to advance fast enough so that we can figure out how to store humans cryogenically.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, well, you wouldn't need. I mean, it's cold in space, so it doesn't even matter. But like, and then have the chemicals kick in just before you're approaching the black hole, and so you can feel the ripping effects.
Like the adrenaline hits you, and then
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Well,
It's
how
like the ultimate like
it is.
thrill seeker, you know?
You're like, wow, yeah, and then
Just getting pulled apart. Yeah, I don't know if that'd
what,
be right or better.
would you? Does the space? Hold on, I don't remember this. Maybe y'all know. I don't watch enough of this stuff. But like, when you're approaching the black hole, is it like, is your ruler getting longer, or is your ruler like,
Let's think.
is your ruler stretching, or is it like,
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
but are you gonna? But at some point, that ruler breaks, right?
Well, so basically, if you want to die as you enter a black hole, I recommend you do it with a big one. A solar mass black hole would spaghettify you. You would fall in, and the gradient, the gravity potential difference between your head and your feet would cause you to be like basically
Ripped apart.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But for a super massive black hole, you can pass through the event horizon no problem.
Oh, because the gradient
you
is
go
like
so-
much smaller
Yeah.
because it's just so huge.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
think
quick. You
I
just
think
get
like the
pulled in.
potential.
Yeah.
Would be like, I don't
Yeah.
want to say like more even.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
I'd
don't
have
know
to
if
think
I'm
more
saying
about
that.
it, but yeah, you might be right.
Okay. I don't know if that's Put
But-
an asterisk on that, please.
But anyways, there's some theories also that like black holes have like firewalls. Like basically, as soon as you pass through the event horizon, you'd be incinerated. But
By what, radiation?
yeah,
Oh.
kind of. Yeah, basically.
Hmm.
And then there's some theories that like there's white holes, so you'll go through and then you'll pop out somewhere
That's
else
what I like.
in the universe.
Yeah, yeah,
Get
yeah.
a new universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like who knows. Relativity's weird. I'd have to think about this before I'm just gonna say it anyways, given what I know of your podcast.
Yes.
Bro, we just let stuff fly, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just say it's a caveat.
Just because, like, okay, this is a caveat.
Just
but,
say
like,
validate that. That's all fine.
Look it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look into it.
Verify,
Eddie Bravo,
please.
Yeah, but so anyways, like, as you enter the black hole, you might be getting close to approaching the speed of light, right? It's definitely your image exists on the surface of that black hole. I think that might be related to Malasena's work. I don't know, but
Right, yeah.
your information would be stored on that surface of the black hole forever.
Mm-hmm.
That would never go away.
You look in a telescope and it's you.
Damn,
waving.
you could charge a premium for that. Actually.
You see Joe saying
Just
hi.
Joe waving like this before his last moments.
Bro,
Yeah.
that idea, you could charge a premium for that, man. We just got to
Yeah.
link up with Elon and Bezos and be like,
Bezos.
we're starting a new company.
think
Yeah.
about the ad real estate, right?
Oh, right, exactly.
have your information in like
permanently
Forever.
embedded.
Well,
Embedded.
at least 10 to the 71
Your
years,
loved
right?
ones can always see you through the telescope.
yeah. Gotta find a really nice telescope.
Right. It's not invented yet, but anyway, I'm
Anyways,
sorry. You were saying, Joe.
I don't fucking know what I was going with that, but that was just
Oh, he fucked up his train.
No, you're
Yeah.
saying if you wanted to do that, you'd have to do it in a massive
Yeah,
black
yeah.
hole. Yeah.
well, probably yeah. If you want to have a chance at living, and if you want to go interstellar on us, you can like find a way to spit out the information from the other side to teach us about quantum gravity. And that's how you can answer the question
gotta-
experimentally. find
I
a
become the ultimate experience.
find a
That's
tesseract in the black hole.
Yeah.
Is that all? Shit.
You have to have two entangled oxytocin molecules, and then right. That's what the movie says, right?
In which movie?
You have to Interstellar.
Oh.
You have to
I
find
don't
two entangled, spatially separate people.
I just know he ended up in a library somehow.
That's
behind-
that's the
behind his
tesseract.
daughters.
That's the
Talking about,
Tesseract
yeah.
situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be like love is a what is it?
Conquers all.
Basically, but honestly, that's his best. I think that's his best movie.
You think that's Nolan's best?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I think it's his best.
Over Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Damn.
because
okay.
Dark Knight's like thematically it's good,
Okay.
but I think like in terms of like doing a hard task of making a scientifically a really accurate movie that's hard.
It's
to
a
do.
feat.
Yeah.
That's hard to do,
True.
bro.
He really
who else
tried
can
to
do
go a
that?
little too ham on Tenet, though.
Tenet was like
I was like, okay.
Tenet was like, I'm gonna take on thermodynamics.
Yeah.
This is like,
I applaud him for trying, but That's
a flop, dude. That's
Yeah.
like a big.
I've never
huge
seen
flop.
that.
It was
so-
cool,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah,
the
I've
science
seen
was
it.
all fucked.
It's like
Oh,
it's like
yeah?
him being like, "Watch me do a swan dive," and then he just went.
Belly flop.
Sorry, I don't know. Well, with like Interstellar, it was more like he was meekly like kind of being like, "I'm gonna do this," and then
Yeah. Not too overly ambitious.
and he did it well.
You saw Interstellar though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did too, Joe?
Yeah, it's one of
Okay.
my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I might agree.
You would say that's Nolan's best?
I might agree with one's take there. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm biased.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also biased. It's a love letter to
It's
physics, man.
Yeah.
and quantum, I guess, in some way, but yeah.
Maybe it is.
Because there really aren't any that like. I mean, people bring up Primer as like a good
I like that
physics
movie.
movie, but it's like okay, you go into I don't know. To me, it's like it never. I guess like if you're a causal person, like you focus on the
Yeah.
cause, then you're not gonna get any answers from that movie.
right.
You know what I mean? Like it's
It's
more
a cluster.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's kind of it's like one of those movies where it's a cluster in a satisfying way, though.
I
For
forgot. Have
some
you guys
reason,
seen that
you
movie?
feel satisfied at the end,
Primer? No, I
Primer?
even though it's not really
doesn't
wrapped
sound
up.
familiar.
Huh?
Primer, they haven't seen it.
Oh no,
I don't think so.
Quick synopsis.
it's really a cool. Well, I didn't know if that could be possible.
yeah, I know.
I mean, the most I can say is that Primer is basically a movie about two engineers, I think, and these engineers find this effect where you put like this box in like I don't know if it's a superposition, but it's some weird mid state, like some weird oscillatory state or something where it can actually take you back in time.
It's a wink to superposition, really.
Yeah, it's like a weird fucked
Yeah.
up version of superposition somehow,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it involves time.
Mm.
So somehow they put themselves in this oscillatory state or something. It allows them to travel back in time. But when they go back in time,
You see copies of yourself.
it's a copy kind of deal.
Yeah.
So where you're making copies of yourself, like you see yourself still there. So it's not like you're like you're taking the place of yourself.
Yeah.
You're existing in a timeline where another you exist now.
I see. Sounds like Primer is a primer for Rick and Morty or something.
Right. It's cool though. It's actually a cool movie, and you feel satisfied for some reason.
Okay.
Although at the end you won't understand shit, and nothing really makes sense.
Yeah.
But for some reason it feels satisfying. But you can go online and like the graphics of like timelines and like connections.
Oh,
it's
so
like a
is it really
schizo,
like they're not really in the
vision board.
past? It's like this line.
It's a linear timeline.
It's like this
interpretation.
line is here, and their past happened to just coincide with their present in this other timeline.
No, it's
Wait,
the same
say it
time.
again. It's the same timeline. It's one of these movies like.
Oh,
what's
it's
the other one we
it's not like
saw?
the many worlds theory.
No, it assumes a linear
No,
time.
it's
Oh, it
one
doesn't have a
time.
bunch of infinite timelines.
No,
No.
exactly. It's so
I would
it's
like the other one
One
better.
single timeline. They get in some mid state and they go back along the same time.
Oh, yeah.
But then it becomes a clusterfuck because all these guys exist now in
Okay.
this one timeline.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. It's
So
like
it's
a
like a-
recursive thing, right? The
Yeah.
person keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's
over.
it's like and it shows you in the movie like it becomes an unmanageable position now because these guys keep fucking around time and going in the same timeline. To now it's just like chaos. Like what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that other movie that we saw with
Tenet.
Tenet.
I was like, yeah,
Exactly.
literally
It's the
Tenet.
same effect at Tenet. You're just like, why is there fucking helicopters everywhere? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different guys in this area.
Yeah.
It becomes unmanageable. Like, you can't really understand movies that have that much going on. I think by default, like I don't think anybody can handle that much information. So I would recommend Primer though. It's cool.
It's a low budget film.
What year is that from?
2000 something.
Yeah, like
2005.
probably early 2000s. It's like you could tell it's like a couple guys who are like indie filmmakers.
Student
made
film.
it.
Yeah. I think it was an Austin film thing. Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's nobody famous in it.
Yeah. No,
It's
just kids.
Random guys. Yeah,
Engineering students.
probably engineering students. Yeah,
Yeah. They're like, we know physics well enough.
and we like filmmaking, so here we go.
Yeah, it's a funny movie. But yeah, Interstellar. I think Interstellar still peaks as like the best science
Still slaps.
physics movie.
Mm.
I mean, think about it. I mean, like, I guess people would say Space Odyssey, but Space Odyssey is like 2001 is like kind of like
Kind of dated.
huh?
Dated.
No, but it's more sci-fi, I guess. I don't know if Interstellar to
Right.
me isn't really science fiction.
I see what you
It's
mean.
like a future.
I see what you mean.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it's less sci-fi than 2001.
It's
Have you
less
seen
fiction, more
2001,
science.
Irene? Okay. Have you seen it, Joe?
I've seen parts of it. It's just like it's actually pretty slow. It's hard for me to get through it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
it's different. The pacing's different than
Yeah.
what we're used to nowadays, right?
Yeah.
There's a
And it's a lot of symbolism too,
Yeah.
which is always tough if you're just like, because almost symbolism starts to borderline into like prose, you know,
Right.
which is tough for like, I feel like physics people.
What do you mean, like reading into this?
Yeah, because you're like, you know,
symbolism?
reading into the lines and like trying to abstract things that
Yeah.
aren't really telling you what's going
Yeah.
on. So it becomes more art than science. So I can get why maybe that's less. It's more sci-fi.
Yeah.
Again, you know.
Well,
So-
I was
yeah.
gonna say the recent best sci-fi movie I saw was Ex Machina.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's a really good
Yeah, it was
movie.
cool. You seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I like how she stabbed him.
What do you
Just
mean?
like real slow.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking creepy, man.
It is
It's such a, and it was such a way that a robot would do it too. Like they're just like,
mechanical.
what's gonna happen here?
Right. Yeah. That's a good touch.
Like she had no feeling to it. She just was like, this is just what it is, you know?
And then also, what's his name is just a great actor. I was gonna say underrated, but he's properly rated. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Poe, what's his name?
Oscar Isaac or something.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar
Thank
Isaac,
you. Yeah.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
cool.
He's so
great.
hot right now, right?
Yeah.
So hot right now.
He is. I mean, he's doing some MCU movie. No,
Oh, is it?
MCU show Moon Knight.
Oh,
Moon Knight?
I didn't know he was on that.
What's
Yeah,
that?
Moon Knight. It's about an Egyptian. So like, there's a pantheon of gods, right,
Mhm.
in the universe. So like in the MCU, they pretty much like, they canonize every god that ever existed. So like, yeah,
Like Hindu, like
Hindu
real God?
and
Oh, shit.
every god.
Oh,
like,
wow.
and they
That's
like,
ballsy.
yeah, I know, but they contextualize it in the like. There's a pantheon of gods, and they all are legitimate, and they exist, and they scale in power with the amount of believers they have, right? And like, and the
Wow, that's a
Egyptian,
cool-ass
yeah, it's
concept,
cool. And
but
the
risky. I feel like that could get a lot of hate.
yeah, he's really like, hey, it's Jesus. Jesus joins the MCU.
Hey,
Tough,
that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
tough. Anyway,
It's Jared Leto.
yeah. Oh God.
Anyway,
He's already in the theaters today, right? He's
Mor-
oh,
Morbius.
Morbius?
yeah,
He's a
the-
vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it flopped too. I don't know.
hey, look bad.
It's bad. Yeah. Well, anyway, they canonize a bunch of gods, and like, in this case, they canonize the Egyptian gods, and one of them named Aminu. No, I don't know if it's
Anubis?
No,
The
Anubis
dog?
is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anubis comes out in Loki.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
never
it's
seen
weird.
it.
It's weird.
I never see it.
But anyway, they
Also, they were doing this shit in Marvel.
yeah,
Oh wow. Oh, so this is in the Marvel like
universe. Yeah.
Damn, they just throw everything in this fucking.
Bro,
universe,
it's
man.
crazy.
God
It's crazy
damn.
what they're doing, man. It's insane. And they're about to come. They're like blending into quantum stuff because of
They're just going
Ant-Man and
ham
stuff.
with it.
But like, yeah, there's a quantum world. I don't know how they're.
Yeah.
I mean, the imagination of whoever's making this stuff is like, you know
They're
what,
going off.
like incredible.
They're going off.
Well, anyway, the guy he's like he works in like an Egyptian museum or something,
Mhm.
but he has dissociative identity disorder, so he's like got multiple personalities.
Okay.
And he like struggles with like I don't know, you guys are familiar with this? No?
Familiar with
No.
what?
The dissociative identity disorder?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No, I don't really think.
It's
about
like correct me if I'm wrong, because you know about this. I only
it.
wrote.
Oh, he's looking for a partner.
Well, no, because I am.
He's like, hold my hand to this.
Hold my hand. To this. No, because like I did like a term paper for a friend. I wrote a paper for a friend.
Okay.
Because they were like, "I'll
Did
pay you
they pay
$20
you?
to
Oh, okay.
yeah,"
Yeah,
and
they
I was
did.
like, $20. That
that time is a good offer.
I should have charged way more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wrote
People
like
charge
a
hundreds of dollars for those things.
man. I should have.
Come on, $20.
I know.
I was
I-
just trying to get the next meal at that point.
I really was.
Sorry, you getting a D on this though?
Yeah, I was like,
For $20, you get a D, right?
Yeah.
You want the A, you gotta give
I was
me.
like, I'm literally doing this the night before, so fuck it. You know, I can't guarantee you a good grade. And so I wrote the paper like real fast. It was like 5 pages, but I basically binged on what DID is. Insane. It's like people have people like are disconnected from like their day to day. So like imagine you Terrence.
Mhm.
You're Terrence.
I am.
But then you inexplicably wake up every morning tired as hell.
Oh.
And you're like, what the hell? These people are living second or third lives even sometimes.
Like sleepwalking or
No, but they're conscious during those times.
Oh, so like if they were awake, like you could talk to them and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Holy
but
shit.
they wouldn't know who the hell you're talking. Like they're like, hey, Terrence, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And they even might.
So they think there's someone else too.
Yeah, and they'll have different personalities and different like.
This is
dislikes.
fake. This can't
like,
be real.
I'm not
no,
even
it's
kidding.
real. It's real.
For
It's a
real,
defense
real.
mechanism for people who have had like
Trauma and
extreme trauma. The, like a lot of time is like complex PTSD,
Oh.
where it's like over the years, you have to have like a system that can protect you, right?
Right.
So a lot of times you have like these stereotypical like the guardian, which is like the person who kind of like is the intermediator, for example, or takes care of you fully. And then you have people who have pieces that are from like different age groups that you were in, right? So if you had some really traumatic experience when you were 5, maybe that 5-year-old that didn't get those needs met is frozen in time. And then there's an older person, it could be an older sibling type of piece that takes care of this child.
I understand. Okay, I think I have seen something related to this.
Yeah. And then sometimes they even take in a persona that is harmful because they kind of like take off their original caretakers, which may have been the abusers or neglectful or whatever, and then they take those personality traits and kind of like create another entity that might be harmful towards
So this
them
is
as
related
well.
to multiple personality disorder.
It used to be called multiple
Yeah, it used
personality
to be,
disorder. Now it's been renamed dissociative identity disorder.
Interesting.
Because it's like dissociative, it's also a spectrum. So what you're saying is like the extreme part of the spectrum.
Right.
That's what you see on TV. You see these
dramatized,
extremes.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then nobody thinks it's real, like me.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a spectrum where some people like are aware that they're like transitioning into this other part of themselves and they can feel a difference. And then there's people who lose time, like what you're saying, like they transition and then they can't remember at all what they
Like
were
most
doing.
illnesses, there's a spectrum.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
behavior. Right.
Yeah, this because I remember back to interesting case studies. There's one case study of a woman who's like in her 30s, and it first started when she was like, I would remember that I was driving home and I wouldn't remember how I got home, and that's how it started. And then it progressed more and more as like she got older, and it was just like.
And was it progressing from an action, or was it just? This is just what happened.
I
like it
don't
just
remember,
unfolded?
man. I don't remember. I think it was like it didn't really go into detail, or maybe I didn't even care to go into detail, but it just talked about her life and then her development of DID, like through the years. But yeah, I was like, I started freaking out when I wrote the. I was like, dude, that happens to me sometimes. But then like,
One's like looking
my
at me,
anxious.
do I have DID?
Oh shit! Sometimes I get home and I don't know how. No, but it's more serious than that. Like it's like you legitimately like if you have like
it's like a blackout.
yeah, but I mean I remember how I get home. It's just like I'm just like, oh shit, I'm home already. Cool.
I'm saying the real version would be like if you were blackout drunk, it'd be similar to something.
Essentially, I think that's a more dramatic.
Well, again,
version.
like I said, it's a spectrum, right? So it's like there are, if it's more mild, it could be more like you can still be part of the experience. But imagine like in your head, there's like another person in the back, like that may be you watching this other part of you taking over because you're in a situation that maybe you got triggered from some past trauma and you can't deal with it. So this other part of you will come to the forefront and be the intermediator, and you're sitting in the corner of your mind watching that happen, right? So you're part of the process, but it's like it's still removed.
You're a spectator.
Yeah, exactly.
In some sense. Yeah.
So you can have awareness of those pieces, but they still obviously cause problems because like sometimes you can't control when it takes over and you're on the corner, right?
Right.
Or it's also can get to the point where you don't even know at all that you have parts, different pieces, and they just take over and you completely lose time. And
the brain is quite fucked up, isn't it?
yeah,
it's a weird organ for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but the show, it tackles like in the more sort of Hollywood version of like DID. It's like this person who like has different personalities to try to cope with literally like dying, like because he dies. Well, I don't know. This is all comic book stuff. So he dies, and then the Lord Khonshu, I think it's Khonshu, some like Lord of Vengeance or something, or some god of vengeance, or Egyptian god. He can only, apparently the gods have been banished from because some MCU weird shit. I don't know. So the only way they can interact in the real world or in the MCU world, is they take on avatars. So they have to like possess the bodies of people, and he's like, well, here's a vessel. I'm gonna use this guy to do my bidding, and then he like gets inside of him, and he's now he's like the part that died. The part that died makes a whole different personality, and then the one that lives is like somebody who's like, I guess, I don't know. I guess we don't know yet, but yeah, it's a super interesting take on it.
Interesting. So this is like kind of like, it allows people to say like, oh, he's got the multiple personality disorder. That's why he's acting different, but really he's got a possession by Changu, wherever the fuck. At the same time.
Well, no, I think I don't know yet if he like is a character that always had it. They don't have that answer yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they're writing the
teasing
character.
it, like to just confuse you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how they're writing the character yet, but it seems to me like this character has lived with that their whole life, and it just happens that like that happened to be like that happened to be like he was at the right time in the right place to be like fucking become an avatar for
possession.
For possession, yeah.
And what is Chanku trying to do? Recruit more people so he can get more powerful, or something?
I think they are. Yeah. I don't know. It seems weird the way they're trying to incorporate like spirituality in the thing.
Sounds interesting.
In
I just want to see
MCU.
Jesus.
Or make an allusion to Jesus in some way. Well, I mean, I think if you were historically, you would have to make a movie in Greece.
What do you mean?
Because I thought Jesus spent time in Greece. Yeah.
But what era is this we're talking about?
I mean, 0 BC, bro. I don't know.
I mean, it's not a modern thing?
What?
This
Oh,
movie?
the show.
Yeah.
Oh, the show's in no, it's modern times.
Okay, so what were you saying?
No, I'm saying if you were to incorporate like a Jesus figure, they would have to make the show in like
Oh, you're saying to make it accurate with reality?
Yeah, Greco-Roman
Well,
times.
I'm thinking it's just off the beaten trail anyway. So like, Jesus can come back on a Harley Davidson.
You probably have plenty of movies like this.
Super controversial. Would it be
sick,
controversial
bro.
in America though?
No, we'd be eating that shit up. Well, it would.
Do y'all
but
think
it'd
it
still
would be?
Cool.
I think it would. I watched.
Wait, what? Jesus coming back in a Harley Davidson?
Well,
No,
they're-
for a
they're-
movie.
Because they're
Or show.
incorporating gods in the pantheon in the MCU, and they're like,
I think it would
People
be
would be
controversial.
pissed. The Christians would be definitely pissed. The hyper Christians,
Mm-hmm.
but there'd be a large segment of people that just think that's funny and awesome at the same time.
Yeah, well,
Like, I would think it would be great.
I watched this movie with my dad. It's Jesus Christ Superstar. It's the
isn't that from the 2000s?
in the 70s. There's like a
Oh.
fucking like musical,
Yeah.
a musical basically of the Bible.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
And even that was like super controversial. Like Jesus, is dressed like a hippie from the 70s or whatever.
Oh,
All the
wow.
apostles and stuff.
and
like
also it was a musical, so right?
that.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just like, for the most part, it's like close. It's like accurate.
Yeah.
It's not
Honestly,
like.
that is Jesus' best disguise. Really. You can just fit in that so well.
But
In that era,
Yeah.
it's all love, man.
Right.
Yeah.
No one would ever suspect.
It didn't seem like it poked that many jokes or was that blasphemous or whatever,
Right.
other than the fact that it's a fucking musical and they dress like hippies. But I mean,
I thought Jesus was all about love, right? Like,
Right.
wouldn't he
Yeah.
be that so chill? I thought he had like multiple partners. I thought he was like, you know,
Yeah.
polyamorous and everything.
I
Yeah,
don't know if they ever touched on that. I don't think Jesus is supposed to be fucking.
yeah.
no, I think
Maybe-
they did.
You don't think he was?
I mean, I was,
Dude,
he probably was, but they just don't write that down.
He was friends with he was problematic, dude.
I feel like he spread the love, you know?
No, he was
In
super
every
like,
Jesus can't get
avenue.
laid, bro.
No,
The
let me
Son
say
of God
this.
can't get laid while he's on Earth.
Okay, let me say this.
He's getting heated. We have to.
I know.
take it.
I've had
Everyone's getting
I've had
heated. Everyone's clipping.
Yeah. I've had
I'm just trying to talk over here.
no. I've had conversations with people who are Christians, and they're like, and I'm like, Jesus hung out with like really fucked up people,
Really?
like murderers and like
Oh, but he was
the rapist
forgive
and-
all or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
You know.
accepting and loving
Yeah.
everyone.
He was like, you got to forgive even the most heinous people,
Right.
and it's just like, damn, bro. So, but the thing is, most people can't. Nowadays, it's like kind of like sacrilegious to kind of tell somebody like find forgiveness in your heart a little bit for people.
What do you mean?
Well, because it's like you have there's no retribution. It's not there's no
Oh, you're saying nowadays?
we don't live in a retributive.
Right, we're not
society.
following the Christian path.
Well, no, because no, even nowadays, I think we still like. I mean, it's more. the criminal system even still is more it's more Torah than it is New Testament. You know what I mean?
No, what's Torah
Like
say?
the first Bible, the
Oh,
the
angry
Old Testament.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more judgment
Right,
and
right.
punishment as opposed to retribution.
I
and
shall
like,
strike upon thee furious vengeance.
It's more
Samuel Jackson said. in
yeah,
Pulp Fiction.
right. It's more that than it is like find forgiveness and then how would you say heal and rehabilitate that kind of thing.
Right.
That's a newer concept. I guess that's
Right.
why it was so. But the thing is, like, even though that's the message, I don't think as a society we're not there yet.
Right.
Because like we're just dealing with like not incarcerating people for like
Marijuana.
marijuana. So it's like
Right.
or-
I think that's a far path to take.
we're still in the Old Testament ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think we're always getting better. If
Wait,
you're
so
talking
when
about
did
legal
Jesus
system, of
show up?
course.
0 BC. No.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, bro, the calendar.
Yeah, 0
Yeah.
before
That's what it's
Christ.
made around, right? Yeah.
I mean, like in terms of the Old Testament and
Oh, that was definitely after.
so.
I mean, to I think around. I don't know. Shit, that's a good question.
So his
Wait,
father is the jerk.
His father's the original OG,
Yes.
the original
you're
God.
right. But the
Yeah.
thing is, the Father, Son, and the Trinity are all one person, technically.
Yeah, but then so he birthed Jesus.
Yes.
Who ended up
Which is-
being kind of like a rebel compared to what his dad
Exactly.
rule.
Yeah.
But technically,
And then
Jesus
he
is
turned
God.
into God again, and
Yeah.
now God is loving and nice
Yeah.
because
Right,
of
so
his
he
son.
learned.
He learned. So his
these
son,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
But his Son is himself.
yeah, I know
Okay,
that.
yeah.
He birthed himself, and then
Right.
he turned into a better person again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He just needed experience.
Yeah. He's like, he hung out with the Greeks and was like, you know what? They're pretty chill.
So God has DID.
Right. Yeah. There's the all
At the
punishing.
end of the day.
That's true. No, but yeah, it's a funny. It's a cool take on
Yeah, I want to see it. I've
Yeah.
always thought Shiva looked like a Final Fantasy VII character.
Dude, I love the
And it didn't
Pantheon.
help that there was literally a Shiva in Final Fantasy.
I know. No, I love all the stories of gods though. That's really cool. If you guys could, are you guys any of you guys religious? I know Terrence isn't, but
I grew up as a Roman Catholic.
oh, okay. I think I'm by proxy. I
That's
think.
grew up as.
Yeah, I never believed in it ever.
Yeah.
Even when I was a child, never.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure none of us are here.
No, I am a-religious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say I think if I were to pick a religion, it would be more along the lines of like
Buddhism, we know.
Buddhism.
Yeah.
Would it be Buddhism?
Yeah.
What is it? What is the other
Every
one?
rational person says Buddhism, because it's like not praying to a god. It's like a chilled out shit.
Yeah. Well, I hate.
Well, I could be a witch
Ooh, a Wiccan?
I like that.
with stones or something. You know,
That's
stone
awesome.
witch.
Crystal witch.
It is weird that like
Yeah,
for
crystals.
people to be like okay, like to be socially acceptable, you have to have a belief system for
Yeah,
behavior
it's
to be.
goofy.
Isn't it weird? Like
Yeah.
like for me, if I wanted to be like I'm fasting, and people I can't work really well because I'm fasting,
Right.
and if that was a personal diet decision,
Right.
like people would be like, okay, so you're gonna reduce your productivity because you're an asshole. Or something? And I'd be like, but now that I'm like, oh, I'm actually, it's a religious thing.
Right.
They'd be like,
then it's like,
oh,
oh, you're great. So brave of you. Keep going.
I fucking hate it so much.
Follow your
I'm
path,
like,
king.
I know. I'm just like, man, this
Like
is
if
so
you gave
lame.
the same exact reason as the religion gives, but you just say it's not associated with the religion, they
Yeah.
judge you differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's weird, right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is really weird.
That's fucked up. Like if you were to say, yeah, I these crystals, they make me feel good. Like just seeing them.
They'd be like, okay.
Yeah. But then they're like, actually, I practice this thing. And they're like, I respect that 100%. Like, you know, it's weird. It's like, bro, just let people do their shit.
But you know what? I kind of understand religious at a different level now. Religion at a different level now, where I've kind of gotten a little bit religious pilled in some sense,
Okay.
if you will.
Here we go.
You
He's
wanna
like,
use the
I'm
modern
gonna
terminology.
go. He's like, I'm gonna go back to tradition now.
Well, no, I
Yeah,
still-
he's
I,
like, I'm going
I
back to religion.
I used to think that I used to have a mindset of that maybe we should probably get rid of all religion because it's holding back humanity intellectually. But then I was kind of thinking, you know what? I think religion actually is a good proxy for people who do not have a long term goal or system. Because you know, I have this take where I say that a fully actualized human needs 3 goals.
Yeah.
Short-term goals, long-term or medium-term goals, and then like the existential goals. So I guess what I'm saying is that religion fills that existential goal that other people would not get to otherwise. So an existential goal kind of is something that's harder to manifest, I think, because it takes more of like a self-actualized, existence in the first place to even get to that, because you need to have all your needs met, right? You need to have your shelter and clothing, and you need to have your, probably a good workspace, living space, all this stuff. And a lot of people don't even get the chance to think in an existential way. It's like kind of it's like
it's a luxury.
It's a privileged position.
I'm just like, why can't you just provide that for people without it having to come with like all of this baggage attached
Exactly.
with it?
That's exactly what it's
I see what you mean, but there's something so powerful with religion where it's like, it's almost like people have this, it's almost like I think it's like a natural, it's almost like a natural creation that humans make because they just want to have some kind of higher authority. And the fact, and I'm pretty sure of that just because of how many times it's arisen in societies independently.
Yeah,
like something about religion is innately human, which is weird.
Yeah, but why does that higher authority that you conjure up have to be such an asshole?
Yeah,
that's the Old Testament.
That's people getting a hold of it and turning it into what they want it to be, right?
Right, but I'm just saying, like, all organized religions that I could think of, like, in principle, I have no problem with the concept of religion.
Right.
Which I think is what you're talking about.
Yes.
But in practice, like any religion I look at, there's just so much.
To hell.
Yeah, there's just so much like bad ideas, and the problem is they got codified into like God said it, so it's stuck there forever.
Right. Exactly.
And that's just the part that like
sucks. I agree. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no good answer.
Yeah.
I can't really say, but I kind of still tend towards the forget religion part, because I think if you have the ability to be fully actualized, you don't really need it.
Yeah.
Like you can make your own existential goals, but I think some people who do not have that maybe like drive or just even the ability to do that because they have so much other shit to do, religion might be a nice answer. And I've kind of turned this leaf in some sense because of just like AA programs, people with like addictions and things, they always have this higher power. And I started thinking, like, why do they always have to incorporate the higher power component? It just always seems so lame to me. And I'm like, they always go to the higher power component. But then I realized that a lot of people really do need that higher power component to get through it. It's like, it's the proxy for the existential goal, essentially, because it gives people that extra push to invest into something else as a way to get through that short-term addictive part or whatever that they're going through. So I don't know. It just seems like there is something to it, even though it has all this baggage. But it is what it is. I don't know if you can make that really any better. You have to make a better religion, I guess.
Let's make a new one. No, I'm just kidding. Well, no, I think you're arguing.
I don't know.
You're arguing for like the
Physics.
social utility. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I don't think people want to really know that much. Like if they're just trying to get that, existential goal, nobody wants to study 8 years of.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to give them all the
classical mechanics,
details, right? You could.
and all this stuff.
turn the particles into apostles or something. Make a metaphor for all of them. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you could do that.
Yeah, I guess you could.
So we need a Scientology too, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about free will too, and how it doesn't exist.
No.
That's true.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they'd be on board for that.
What, free will?
Yeah, free will not existing, because that kind of already is what religion.
I mean,
is
that's what
in some sense.
people like, right, about it. Like
Right.
they give up the control,
Right,
to
exactly.
the
Yeah.
higher power. So if you're saying you don't have to worry, you don't have free will anyway.
Right.
Physics is the higher power who controls you.
Right.
Oh,
Dirac.
really? Great.
Yeah.
Dirac is the god in this.
Let there be light is, the existence of photons.
Yeah.
So you recontextualize.
Right, all the old ideas, right?
Yeah.
That's all they do anyway, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it as an allegory to creation, it's funny because there's some people that like
They interpret the Bible allegorically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then that's problematic too, because it's like, at what point does the analogy stop and
Yeah,
what
right.
point does it end or
Yeah.
begin? So I don't like that either. Usually,
the social utility of religion, I think, is too is too useful for people to give up. Just because
It's too
like
powerful.
I mean, not beyond the search for meaning. I think it's also just the fact that people like the most important aspect of it is gathering a sense of community.
Right.
Like that anybody that I talk to is like, oh, that's the one defining characteristic that keeps people invested in it as a thing. Like beyond like I think humans invent like weird like sports I think is like kind of a proxy for that, like community building in some way, and I think you get more out of sports than you would in some ways religion. I don't know
But the
if that's
religion
controversial to
doesn't
say.
have that competitive aspect. You know, that can be a turnoff for people when they're not
depends on
really
the-
trying to compete.
Depends on the religion.
Right, if you're in a mega church, they're like,
Well,
It's like-
who's going to give the most money?
yeah.
Fill that jar up.
Yeah. What's your Joel Osteen?
Right. But yeah, they're supposed to be, religion is supposed to be a safe haven for anyone, right? Ideally. At least I can speak for the Christian religion. You're supposed to accept any and everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're gay or trans.
Right, exactly.
Or
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Or
so on.
There's a lot of
anything
ways.
that's wrong. Like,
Or
there
just be
comes a-
anyone other than white.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So
They
it's
dip
like-
you in bleach when they baptize you.
Right. It's like, yeah, these, but hopefully, you know, I don't know. I don't really know my full conclusion on religion. I would like to think that we could just get to a higher plane where we could just lose it, but realistically, I'm like, I don't know if that's possible because it's a lot to ask people who just, because people don't want, I mean, some people don't want to learn as much as they
you need
possibly
to
can about the
teach these
universe.
skills in a way, like maybe the spirituality connection. You know, like you're saying, getting to this
A higher purpose.
Yeah, right. This should be something that is within the education system. period.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
That is what's necessary. Then you
I
don't
see.
need the religion because you're learning it. I mean, the school is kind of like your church or whatever.
Right,
It's
right.
like it's part of your education is the education of the spirituality or existentialism. You know,
Mhm.
and like you get to learn about yourself, like how you fit into the
Yeah.
world, what you believe the world is, even right.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it has like bleeding effects. Like, I mean, there's probably a growing segment of people that are a-religious or non-religious,
Yeah.
and it's like, and those people are supplementing it. I don't know. I don't know if this is true, but they say that the more millennial group, at least, they supplement their religion with like politics, and so now that becomes their belief system or their ideology of like constraining their worldview in some way.
Can you expand?
Like more like people are not or become disinterested with like becoming like open to ideas and like looking at data and like it's sort of like looking at the world in a certain ideological lens that they.
I see.
So it's like that muscle in your brain or that part of your brain. Hilarious that people still say muscle of your brain.
We know what it
that part. Yeah, that part of your brain that like, I guess that is trying to serve a higher purpose is like
Right,
kind of like pushed into like politics, which
Gotcha,
is like I
gotcha.
think it would be more healthy as a society if we like did what Irene is saying, like kind of like separate like you know the higher goal should always be to like society in some way, like
Mm-hmm.
to improve the lowest common denominator, like the lowest raise the floor. I've always said this multiple times, but
Yeah.
like you know raising the standard of living of the lowest low, and in some way like serving that higher goal, the higher purpose of like bettering society.
Mm-hmm.
I think like religion takes the moral sense, right? It's
Yeah.
like the way you serve that is by being good.
Right.
The way you serve society is by being good. But it's like that seems like a trivial statement to most,
Yeah.
right? Like
And it also can be a confusing statement too, because it's like, what does that even mean sometimes? And that's why people use religion as kind of
The
guiding
codified-
framework,
yeah.
right? Because it's sometimes it's not obvious what is good, right? And I think religion is kind of a nice, at least I think Christianity sometimes provides some good, guardrails for some things like that, or what actually is good.
Mm-hmm.
So
stay
I don't
away
know.
from pork and the tuna from Subway. Stay away. It's not real.
That's
What?
it's going to be in your
Oh,
tenets
fuck.
in your religion.
I love tuna at Subway. I'm screwed.
Me too. But it's like it's made of rubber or some shit.
That's the bread, right?
Yeah, the
Yoga
bread,
mats.
Yeah,
or
the
whatever.
bread is made of microplastics.
Oh shit.
Yeah, in Germany, it's not classified as bread or whatever.
Oh
Oh my god.
We're so fucked.
I-
We're
I
getting
eat
colon
so
cancer,
much
Terrence.
Subway.
I know, dude. We're getting colon cancer at 35 or something.
Honestly, as soon as you said Subway, my stomach started growling.
No, you guys know that controversy with microplastics recently?
No.
Yeah.
Have you been hearing about this?
I think-
Dude, it's so
I don't
bad.
know.
Talk about where it's everywhere and it's in our
Yeah.
blood. Like the majority of
Are you
people have
surprised, though,
microplastics
really?
in their blood.
I mean, how much water we drink? All this
No,
shit
but
has microplastics going into it.
It's insane, man. This is going to be our lead, dude. I'm not even kidding.
This is our lead.
Irene?
I
what do you
think
think's
it's
gonna
pretty
happen?
bad.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad
What do you think's
situation.
gonna happen all
But
summers?
I mean, have they even figured out what the effects are in the body?
Yeah, I mean, they speculate that's probably, I mean, colon, they say like the increased frequency in colon cancer is probably, like the microplastics irritate your bowel lining and you like, it's fucking younger people up.
It could get cancer?
Yeah, colon
Yeah.
cancer. It's tough, dude.
Well, we're all gonna die. What are you gonna
Well, then, like, I mean, the rates, and then, like, they say, like, it's stored, your body stores it in the fat because it's, like, a free radical or something, and, like, but it's still very toxic. Like, some people say, like, it passes the blood-brain barrier and shit. It's, like, really terrible shit. It's like,
That
dude.
doesn't sound good.
It's not, man. I kind of worry because I'm like, damn, either you're gonna get superhumans out of this, or you're gonna like, or you're gonna get like
Superhumans?
yeah, like you can
Plastic
survive.
Man?
Yeah,
Sounds like
That's
a
the
likeness.
next
Yeah.
Marvel character.
Marvel character. Yeah, I'm flexible. I can be.
They're like, bro, you're not even invisible. We still see your outline.
Yeah. It's gonna be so fuck. I don't know. And like I don't know, because Teflon was also a huge thing for a while,
Yeah. Teflon poisoning.
dude. And when I
think
read
might have
about
got
that,
some of that.
when I read about that, I was like, holy shit! Like, I couldn't believe that, because the company that had developed Teflon, it was like a chemist. They were like, this stuff is bad. Like, people are getting cancer from it. Like, the scientists that are working on this are getting cancer from it, and they're like, we don't think it's a good idea. But then like 3M, I think it was like, we're gonna, we need to make returns on our investment here, and so like they just put out the product or something, and like the city found out runoff or some shit, dude. It's a whole thing, and the company tried to hide it. It was like a disaster until finally came out. But even then, they say like there's still runoff effects from Teflon.
Really?
Yeah, and then like and then microplastics is a whole nother thing. Like, it's gonna be like, what is that? What is it called?
Fibromyalgia, yeah.
From like,
I knew somebody who had that.
dude, it's crazy.
Not good. I didn't realize how bad it was.
But it's like that kind of stuff where it's like we're using stuff that we're like, we don't know the scope of the effects.
That'll be to the end of time, though. I think companies already know all this shit. They're just like, the damage will only be like 50 years out, so let's just keep producing it, all these unnatural things and these weird products and all this stuff. It's just unavoidable.
Yeah, but in some way, like the bearing of responsibility, I guess, is on us, because like, I mean, the only way you
On
get
who?
plastic like that
Scientists
on the people making these decisions.
I see.
Like, if like in theory, it would be the government. The responsibility would be on the government or the boomers or whoever came after before. Sorry, to really look at it and be like, are the subsidies to like ethanol or whatever to make plastic so fucking cheap is like, companies are gonna do. They're just gonna be like, oh, this is so cheap to have, as opposed to like producing aluminum or whatever this is. I don't know.
Well, the dollar rules everything, bro. So if it's cheaper, it's...
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying you create incentives as a society to be like, this is cheaper because we're socializing the cost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like, I mean, if you didn't socialize it, would companies really go to water bottles? Would water bottles be as ubiquitous as they are? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's my take. But then also
All
water
right.
would be,
I don't know.
then also you'd be drinking tap water and maybe get lead poisoning.
Well, tap water is almost... 65% of bottled water is tap. It's exactly the same.
Time to get to what is it called? Have you guys seen those humidifiers that like they condense the water down
No.
and
you drink
you
it?
can drink it? Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
They're like, purifiers.
Huh. Is that what you're trying
You
to
get
get?
free water, bro.
Yeah.
Well, not in
There's
Washington.
no microplastics in that water too.
Oh yeah,
No.
good point.
No.
Like if I went, even if you sampled in some streams or whatever, there's probably still microplastics.
Oh no, this pulls it from the atmosphere.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
but all
like-
water's recycled, right? So it's like
So I just wonder.
something.
Well, if it's microplastics, I mean, if you have a filter, like you can. Also the thing about microplastics is like the body doesn't get rid of it. They find
Makes
that they
sense.
can't really get rid of it.
Makes sense.
So
Is
we're
that-
just gonna turn into plastic at some point. We really are.
The fact that it's called microplastics tells you the length scale. It's
Microns.
Yeah.
10 to the minus 6.
Yeah. Probably even
But
less.
it's on the scale of the
Probably
cells.
even less though.
Yeah, I'm surprised it
cells?
crosses
Yeah.
blood-brain. and stuff
I think
like
it's
that.
even less though. Like I think they find accumulations of it.
Nanoplastics. They're nano size.
I
Then
mean,
they
I'm
can
gonna,
go-
Yeah, if it was nano, then I would worry about the
Yeah.
humidifier thing. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. I don't think. I mean, do we have nano filters? I don't even know. Probably
I
not.
don't know.
You have to find like carbon filters are like.
I just drink water and I pray.
I mean, at this point, we're all a little screwed. So.
Yeah, I'm like, something's gonna get me anyway. I don't care. If I live till
Yeah,
70
there's so
versus
many
71,
things to
I'll be
get us.
fine.
So.
Oh yeah, there are nanoplastics.
Yeah. It's just like
Are
I
there
know we live in such a
picoplastics?
cushy world now, but I got better things to
Yeah.
think
They say that nanoplastics interact with proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, nucleic acids, which are the backbone of DNA and stuff. Ions, water in the human body, leading to the formation of chlorinated nanoplastic particles for absorption. Yikes!
Rip.
Insane. And also they
Except
because
for
they're
us
so
as we
tiny.
speak.
Yeah, because they're so tiny, they get in. They also travel through the atmosphere.
So though it's not gonna. Oh well, it
fucked.
filters.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
what
have
I was-
nano filters,
That's what I
right?
was talking about.
We should make nanoplastic bots then to combat viruses. How about
You should
that?
get on that.
Oh, like bots you put into the water sources and it just consumes the nanoplastic.
How about that?
I've been waiting for nanotechnology forever now, so you get on that. I still haven't seen all the
I
stuff
see a
I've been seeing on
business-
YouTube in 2008.
Yeah, I see a
Like,
business
when's my
opportunity.
nanobots coming?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm waiting for
nanoplastics.
the gray goose scenario still.
Speaking of cool
know that?
no, but
Okay.
I've seen that cool like magnetic slime of nanobots stuff. You
That's-
seen that?
that's what it
Oh, that's
is.
what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay, cool.
Well, it's different. The gray goose scenario is actually the runaway effect, though.
What is that?
It's where you have nanobots that self-replicate, and they're so small, of course, right? They're nanoscales. They look like a goo, and it's like the self-replicating nanobots. They take whatever
Yeah.
the particles or molecules are in there, and they make themselves.
Yeah,
from
that's
that
a
they
thought
just
experiment,
replicate.
right? About the self-replicating paperclip machine or whatever. There's like a philosophical thought experiment, and there's a movie about that too. I forget.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Day After Tomorrow or something.
No, that's
No.
the one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
He like freezes because
There's like some
It's something
crazy.
because
Tomorrow,
somebody's
isn't it?
thermostat was too low or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's an
any of
allegory
these.
for
Yeah,
climate
yeah,
change.
you-
No, I'm just
so you know the movie I'm
Keanu
talking about.
one, yeah.
Yeah, there's a movie about that, right?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that. Damn, Keanu has bangers, bro.
He wasn't good.
well,
Wasn't good? Oh.
except I think it's about like an alien or something that
Yeah.
comes, and then they have that technology, and it's about to wipe out Earth or something.
Exactly.
Whoa, that sounds like a cool premise.
It sounds cooler than it is.
Paperclip replicator. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there's some philosophical thought experiment.
That's
or something. Yeah, it's about like converting all the material on Earth and then maybe even the universe to paperclips or something.
Awesome.
Hell. Yeah.
Could you imagine if aliens came down to Earth and there's just a giant
Paperclip in the sky.
I'll just say everything's made of paper clips. All trees are paper clips. People are paper clips. It's like, what happened here?
Clippy comes back. Wait, what was the name of
Clippy.
the paper clip from Word? It was Clippy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Clippy's the ruler of Earth.
Hey,
That'd
looks
be
like you're.
hilarious.
Yeah, he's
Microsoft is Skynet. He was
Yeah.
he was invented to create Clippy
like.
to
Yeah.
rule the Earth.
Yeah, you see Clippy's little. What is that little dialogue
Yeah.
he has? What does he say?
I forget.
He's like, looks like you're.
Trying to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, hello there. Are you there?
Anyways,
Yeah, we need to bring back those
we're,
things.
we're at an hour 30, so
Yeah, let's
That
wrap
sounds
it
good.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, folks. Shall we plug Beyond the Physics?
Yeah.
Guys, check out Beyond the Physics, of course. You
Yes.
know where to find them on
BTP on
Apple and Spotify.
wherever you
and
find
all.
podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a YouTube?
No.
What, I mean, just started it. but we don't put the full podcast there. So.
Okay.
So
Yeah, will
check
you
them
guys
out.
Check that out.
I think they will be putting out more content than we will for a while.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe,
But
maybe
They're
not.
doing a move for like
There will be people in school, so I don't know.
Yeah,
true.
we have dry spells sometimes.
Yeah.
We try to do one once a month, but
Damn, I actually thought about it because I remember the last time we would take hiatuses would be when we were in grad
Yeah,
school.
exactly.
Damn,
Because it's too much.
we're too busy. Damn. Yeah, you're right. Well,
Alrighty.
all right, folks.
thanks
Ta-ta.
for having us.
Listening.
Right.
Peace.